Welcome to The Big Questions, a premium children's nonfiction series created to show that real things, the world we live in, the ideas we build, and the questions we ask, can be every bit as exciting and astonishing as fiction. This book is The Big Questions. What is a Bridge? By Ethan Solace. I loved researching this book, writing it, and creating the artwork that brings it to life. Bridges are more than stone, steel, ropes, or roads. They are ways across. They are acts of courage. They are how people, places, and ideas find each other. I hope you enjoy listening, and I hope this story leaves you looking at the world a little differently. And if it does, there are many more books waiting for you in the Big Question series. Now, let's begin. What is a bridge? A bridge is more than just a path from here to there. It's a bold idea made real, a ribbon of connection stretched across sky, sea, river, or rock. It dares to link what was once divided. Some are strong and silent, built from stone and steel. Others sway and creak, made of rope, wood, and courage. But every bridge begins the same way with a question. What if we could cross? Bridges rise where stories meet. They appear in the middle of nowhere and make it somewhere. A rope strung high across a jungle gorge becomes a lifeline. A wide arch over a canyon becomes a promise. You're not alone on your side. Some bridges are grand and glittering like the Golden Gate, glowing red in the morning mist. Others are small and quiet, like a plank across a puddle, placed by a child with a stick and a dream. But what really makes a bridge? Is it the cables, the bolts, the beams? Or is it the courage to build where no one dared? A bridge is a hope you can walk on. It's an adventure under your feet. And once you've crossed one, the world never looks quite the same again. Bridges made by nature. Long before humans laid rope or stone, the earth was already building bridges. A fallen log across a stream, a stretch of tangled vines between jungle trees, even the arch of ice that spans a glacial crack. Nature, in her quiet wisdom, was the first to ask, how do we cross? In the heart of the rainforest, roots grow thick and strong. Guided by patient hands, generations of people shape them into living bridges. They stretch across rivers like arms made of trees, breathing, bending, growing. In the Arctic, ice sheets form frozen crossings beneath the shimmer of northern lights, glittering, shifting, dangerous, and beautiful. Even tiny ants build bridges out of themselves, linking together in living chains so others can pass. Nature doesn't build to impress, she builds to connect. These bridges hum with life. They whisper of time, of trust, of trying again and again until the gap is gone. No bricks, no blueprints, just the rhythm of roots and the courage of creatures daring to cross. When we build, we often copy what nature already knows, that connection isn't just about getting from here to there. It's about the wonder of reaching and the magic of meeting in the middle. The first bridges we built long ago, when maps were still dreams, and the world felt wild and wide, humans began to build bridges, not for fame or fortune, but because they had to cross rivers swollen with rain, to reach the family on the far side of a valley, to carry firewood, food, and hope between two worlds that didn't yet meet. These were the first human bridges, simple, scrappy, and full of heart. Some were made of woven reeds, light enough to carry but strong enough to trust. Others were stacked stone by stone, shaped by bare hands and ancient minds. The Romans built arches so perfect they still stand today, holding up the weight of time. In the high mountains of Peru, the Inca spun living rope from grass and stretched it across cliffs, reweaving their bridges every year in a festival of honor and courage. Every culture had its own way of crossing, but all of them began with the same human spark. We can make a way. These early bridges didn't just connect land, they connected lives. They turned journeys into stories. Each plank, each rope, each carved stone whispered a truth we still carry today, that even the deepest divide can be crossed with courage, care, and a little imagination. Giant leaps of imagination. Some bridges don't whisper, they roar. They stretch across vast oceans, tower over valleys, and soar like ribbons of steel against the sky. These are the dream bridges, the ones that make you stop and stare, mouth open, heart racing. The Golden Gate, the Millau Viaduct, the Akashi Kaikyo, giants, each one. But before they touched the sky, they lived first in the mind. Engineers imagined them, drew them, doubted them, and dared to build them anyway. They sketched curves and cables that had never been seen before. They worked through storms, fears, and the weight of gravity until suddenly, impossibility wasn't impossible anymore. And when they finished, the world looked different. These weren't just bridges. They were leaps of imagination made real. Stand on one, and you feel the thrum of tension in the cables, the strength in every beam, the hush of wind weaving through open air. It's not just metal that holds them up. It's a belief, the kind of belief that says we can cross anything. These bridges teach us that the future begins not with footsteps, but with wonder and a wild idea strong enough to span the space between two sides. Bridges beneath our feet. Not all bridges reach for the sky. Some lie low, tucked beneath our feet like secrets waiting to be seen. A tunnel beneath a city humming with electric light. A glass walkway stretching across a canyon, so clear it feels like walking on air. An underwater highway where headlights drift like stars beneath the sea. These are bridges too quiet, clever, and full of mystery. In Norway, cars glide through mountain tunnels carved beneath fjords. In Japan, bullet trains dive into the deep, racing through undersea tubes like arrows of light. And in China, a glass bridge dares you to walk across the sky, your heart pounding as the earth drops far below. These bridges don't shout, they whisper, but they still carry the courage to cross. Step onto one and you feel that quiet thrill, the hush of something hidden, the bravery it takes to trust what you cannot see. These bridges remind us that not everything bold has to be loud. Sometimes the greatest crossing is the one that moves in silence beneath oceans, under mountains, across the invisible. A bridge doesn't need to be above to be extraordinary. It only needs to carry you forward. Bridges that move. Some bridges don't just stand, they dance. They lift and lower, spin and slide, fold like paper, and open like jaws. These are the bridges that move with the rhythm of the world. Watch one rise for a passing ship, its steel spine bending with grace. See another roll sideways like it's changing its mind. These aren't just crossings, they're machines with muscles. In London, the great arms of Tower Bridge lift skyward as boats glide beneath. In the Netherlands, a bridge curls into a perfect spiral when it's not in use. Some even swing wide like a door or tip gently up like a seesaw. These bridges aren't afraid to be bold. They show us that movement can be strength and that flexibility can be beautiful. To stand on one is to feel the world shifting, not in fear, but in delight. You might hear gears groan, cables hum, or steel sigh as the bridge transforms before your eyes, and just like that, it becomes more than a path. It becomes a performance. These bridges teach us that sometimes the way forward isn't still or silent, it's alive, full of movement and marvelously unexpected. The bridge between worlds. Not all bridges are built from bricks, beams, or bolts. Some are made from starlight and stories, shimmering in the space between imagination and belief. The Vikings told of a rainbow bridge called Bifrost, glowing with magic, stretching from Earth to the land of the gods. In Venice, there's a bridge named for sighs where whispers of love or sorrow drift through the air like falling petals. These bridges don't just carry people, they carry dreams, memories, even souls. Some say the moonlight makes its own bridge across the water, silver and silent, where spirits walk when the world is asleep. Others speak of bridges in fairy tales, golden and glowing, hidden in the mists, waiting for a heart brave enough to find them. These aren't the bridges you see on maps. They live in the space between real and almost, between now and forever. To cross one is to feel something stir inside you, a flicker, a flutter, a feeling that says, there's more than just what we see. These bridges teach us that some crossings aren't made with footsteps, but with wonder, and that sometimes the biggest journey begins with the smallest spark of belief. Bridges of belonging. Not all bridges are made of stone or steel. Some are made of moments small, invisible threads that stretch from one heart to another. A smile that says you're safe here. A hand held out in the dark. A quiet, me too, when you thought you were alone. These are bridges too, built not across rivers, but across souls. Belonging begins when someone sees you and stays. When they walk beside you, even if they don't understand everything. It's the feeling of being wrapped in warmth without needing to explain why you were cold. It's hearing your name spoken kindly. It's laughter shared, pain witnessed, silence held. Every time love reaches across fear, a bridge is built. These bridges don't always look like much. You can't sketch them on blueprints or measure them in meters. But they are the strongest kind, stronger than iron, older than words. And they stretch across everything. Age, difference, distance, even time. They whisper a truth that children feel in their bones. You are not alone. And just like that, the world becomes smaller, not because it's less, but because someone else is close enough to reach. Dangerous crossings. Some bridges test your nerve. They sway in the wind. They creak beneath your feet. They stretch high above roaring rivers or cling to the sides of cliffs like threads of bravery. These aren't easy crossings. They make your heart beat faster, your breath come shallow. But still, you step forward. Imagine a rope bridge in the mountains, boards missing, ropes worn smooth by weather and time. Below, a river crashes like thunder. Above, the sky's vast and blue. Every step feels like a question. Will I make it? And every answer is whispered back by the wind. Only if you try. These bridges remind us that fear isn't a stop sign. It's an invitation. In war, people built bridges in the middle of battle. In storms, rescuers used ladders and ropes to reach the stranded. In history, messengers ran across perilous crossings to deliver hope. These weren't just brave, they were brilliant. Because to cross a dangerous bridge is to say, this matters more than my fear. And that's where courage lives. Not in being fearless, but in going anyway. Bridges that carry us home. Some bridges don't take you somewhere new, they take you back. Back to where your story began. Back to laughter echoing in childhood air. Back to a place that holds your name like a song. These bridges might not be famous or tall, but they carry something more important than distance. They carry belonging. There's the old wooden footbridge at the park, the one that clacks beneath your shoes and smells faintly of moss and rain. Or the railway bridge your family passes on the way to Grandma's house, where every arch feels like a memory. Even a plank across a puddle in the garden, laid down by your own hands, can become a bridge that leads you home not just in place, but in heart. To cross these bridges is to remember the way your coat felt that winter, the way someone you loved called your name, the way the sunlight hit the water just right and everything felt okay. These bridges remind us that home isn't just a roof, it's a feeling, a return, a heartbeat. And the bridges that carry us there don't need to be big or bold, they just need to know the way. Building bridges, not walls. Sometimes people build walls to keep others out, to feel safe, to protect what's theirs. But walls only divide. They say you stay there, and I'll stay here. Bridges say something else. Bridges say, let's meet in the middle. Throughout history, bridges have ended wars, healed wounds, and started conversations that walls never could. A handshake across a table. A peace treaty was signed over a crossing. A refugee was welcomed instead of turned away. These moments change the shape of the world not with force, but with connection. And every time we choose understanding over fear, we build a bridge instead of a wall. You don't need bricks or blueprints to build one. You only need courage. The courage to listen. The courage to forgive. The courage to be kind even when it's hard. Every time you reach out to a new friend, a neighbour, even someone who sees things differently, you are laying the first plank. And if enough of us do it, the world starts to change, one crossing at a time. Will you build one too? You've travelled across rope and glass, through storm and starlight. You've seen bridges rise from roots, wires, fire, and wonder. But now we arrive at the most important crossing of all, the one that hasn't been built yet, the one that lives inside you. Because every bridge begins with a single choice, the choice to reach, to listen, to try. Maybe your bridge won't span rivers or ravines. Maybe it will stretch between two people who feel far apart. Maybe it will carry a friend through sadness, or connect a lonely voice to a listening ear. It might be a question, a letter, a smile, a brave hello. But if it brings understanding, if it brings someone closer to belonging, then it counts. Then it matters. Then it's a bridge the world didn't have until you made it. The world is full of places waiting to be joined, not just lands and skylines, but hearts and hopes and futures. You don't need blueprints. You don't need permission. You only need the courage to imagine a connection where others see a gap. So ask yourself, softly but boldly, what will I build? Because the next great bridge might not be made of steel. It might be made of you. Thank you so much for listening to The Big Questions. What is a Bridge? By Ethan Solace. This book began with bridges, but really it became a story about connection, about the courage to reach, the wonder of crossing, and the hope that appears when two sides find a way to meet. If you enjoyed listening, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people find the series, and it helps me keep building a collection of free audiobooks for children, families, schools, and anyone who loves big questions. Thank you for listening. Keep reading, keep dreaming, keep asking big questions, and I'll see you in the next book. Copyright 2026 Ethan Solace. All rights reserved. This audiobook and its original book are protected by copyright. No part of this work may be copied, reproduced, recorded, distributed, uploaded, sold, adapted, or used in any form without written permission from the author, except for brief excerpts used in reviews, classrooms, or non-commercial educational settings.